tell you, sometimes sometimes the light is nice, right? You're like, oh, that light looks nice. And then other times you're like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of light really early in the morning. That's right. Hey, we got an episode for you today. We're talking about loving God and loving people. The good news girls are going to pop in here, and I'm actually coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, today will look a little bit different with the way we're set up in the hotel. I'll explain all that in just a second, but we have an incredible show for you today, an incredible story that will be unlike anything you've ever heard or ever experienced. My guess is, as we talk today, my guess is there'll be multiple points in today's episode where you're going to be like, say what? I don't know if you'll do it like that. You might be like, say what? Or maybe you'll be like, nah, I'm just messing. All right, there's going to be a lot of amazing stuff right here today. Thanks for being right here. GM3X, your daily morning show. Super excited to have you here. It's time to rise and grind.
Welcome to GM3X. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to eight, and the founder of the 800% Elite Club. I hope you're ready for motivation, education, inspiration, celebrity interviews, and thought-provoking conversations because it's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind.
Hey, good morning, whoa, oh, sorry about that. Good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. That's right, today is Friday, October 21st, 2022. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Friday, October 21st, 2022. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible day. Hey, I'm coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Out here, it is currently 2:34 a.m. That's right, it's 2:34 a.m. I've been up since 1 a.m. I got up at 1 a.m. today so that I could do my gratitude, my goals, all of those things that are important before we step out into the world, right? The foundational stuff that you and I both have to be aware of. We have to always make sure we create time for the morning routine. So even though we're in a different time zone, we're on Pacific time, we're traveling, we have a show at 5:30 a.m., that doesn't mean we throw our morning routines out the window. It just means they have to get up earlier. That's right. So been up since 1 o'clock in the morning. Super grateful for this Morning Five Planner. If you did not or have not participated in the Morning Five Planners this year, well, I got good news for you. The good news is the new Morning Five Planners, 2023 Morning Five Planners, those are going to be coming out really soon. They come out on Black Friday. We actually just got our first print copy of the new Morning Five Planner. We just got our first print copy yesterday, I believe it was, yesterday or the day before. It's going through some final editing. You guys are going to stink and love it, but be ready for that. Those will be coming on Black Friday. But of course, there is a quote at the top of every page in the Morning Five Planner that is submitted by actual members of this community. And that's what I love. I was talking to my mom about this. Like, I love that we get to do this together. You and I have been on this journey between the morning show, Breakfast with Champions, and all of the things, right? We've been able to go on this journey together, and this planner is a perfect evidence of that. Because, see, the planner doesn't exist and doesn't make the impact that it makes if it's not for you, right? So I want to thank you for that. On the top of today's planner, it's a quote submitted by Kelly Pantaleone. Pantaleone. And it says, "You are only who you are. No one else, and no one else can be you. You are only who you are. No one else, and no one else can be you." And as I read that this morning, I thought, that's pretty powerful right there. It's just a few words on a page, but there's so much truth to it, right? You are only who you are. And when you look at that word only, when you realize you are only who you are, I'm getting a red bar over on my side, hopefully still streaming, then it begs to ask the question, well, are you the best version of who you are that you can possibly be? And see, I believe in order for you to be the best version of who you are that you can possibly be, it is something that requires you to tap into all three dimensions of self: mind, body, and spirit, right? We are three-dimensional beings, not two-dimensional beings. And believe me, I know the difference because I lived a two-dimensional life for a very long, for a very long time. And that 2D way of thinking, that two-dimensional life, leaving out the spiritual aspect of who I was, ultimately led me down a path of homelessness, depression, suicidal thoughts, and I even attempted to take my own life. And so living a 2D versus a 3D, it's a big deal. It's a game changer. You are only who you are. So the question today is who you are the best version of yourself that you can possibly be? And if not, what might be missing? You see, I'm coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada, and after doing my planner, reading the Bible, reading my quotes, doing all of the things, I don't have a big fancy production for you today. But what I do have is a moment in time that you and I can share. A moment in time that hopefully will be one that you can remember just as much as I do. I'm trying to word this specific way for a specific reason. So let me just break it down like this. I am filming today at Blue Wire Studios in the Wynn Casino. There's a studio down at the downstairs of the Wynn Casino. It's called Blue Wire Studios, and it's this big, fancy, incredible studio where lots of celebrities and amazing people go in and record podcasts and do TV shows and so on and so forth. Right? It's amazing, and I'm doing that with my guy David Meltzer. Some of you know Dave Meltzer's a dear friend of mine. He leases out, or sorry, no, he has a partnership with Blue Wire Studios, so he's part owner of that particular studio. And so last night, as part of us doing the show, last night we went to a hockey game. We went to a Las Vegas Knights hockey game, and we had what's called the Fleet Deck, I think is what it's called. And up on the Fleet Deck, you're like it's like a box suite, except for it's not boxed in, it's out, right? And so you go all the way up the steps, and you have this flat, and there was celebrities up there and all this cool stuff, and there's like all this food, all the food you can eat, all the drinks that you can have, all of that stuff is sitting right up there at the top. And this is my first time ever going to a hockey game. Drop it in the comments if you've ever been to a hockey game. I don't know if you're into hockey or if hockey's your thing. This is my first time ever in my entire life going to a hockey game, and I had a great time. But I did realize something. I realized I have no idea how hockey is played. Like I had no clue. Like they came out, man. They came out on the ice, and there was just people like going everywhere. Like before the game even started, and the goalie was laying down on the ground, and he was like twerking with his skates on, and like doing all this stuff. I'm like, what is going on, man? And there's just people, and then all of a sudden, next thing I knew, like I thought they were just doing like the welcome intro, and all of a sudden there was like a puck that was going around, and people were slamming each other into walls, and then they'd score, and man, I mean, it was crazy, man. I was like, what is this? All of a sudden there'd be five people on the ice, and then those five people would run off the ice, and another five people would run onto the ice, and somebody would score, and like within 2 seconds of somebody scoring, they'd be back, like hitting the puck around again. I'm like, whoa, man, I need like a TV timeout here. What is going on? This is insanity out here. It is crazy, right? And so we're having a good time. And I meet a lot of great people at the event. And in the midst of it all, I met a couple, and this particular couple, what's up, Tara Marnie? How you doing, Nathaniel? This incredible couple, we got to having a conversation about how we had met Dave. They were talking about how they had met Dave, and I was talking about how I had met Dave. And the story of meeting Dave is a really powerful one. You see, Dave Meltzer was somebody I interviewed here on this show. He got introduced to me by Sharon Falk. Sharon Falk connected Dave and I. I interviewed Dave, and as soon as I got done interviewing Dave on this show, I said, as soon as we hit done recording, I was like, we were off camera. I was like, bro, I need to know you. I need to get in your circle. What do I need to do? How do I get closer to you? How do I learn from you? And he was like, well, we have these courses and so on and so forth. I'm like, no, I don't need courses. Like you, I need to be connected to you. I want you to mentor me, to coach me, something. How do I get close? And so he was like, all right, man, it's whatever X dollars a month for a couple calls a month. And I'm like, okay, cool, done. Here's my credit card. Let's go, right? And so I started coaching with Dave Meltzer. Now, fast forward a little bit, and I got a text message. I was sitting on the couch with my wife, and I got a text message. And the text message said, this was on a Wednesday, I think. And the text message said, meet me in San Diego at 8:30 a.m. Saturday. And it was from Dave Meltzer, and that's all it said. Meet me in San Diego at 8:30 a.m. Saturday. And this was on Wednesday. Saturday, September 4th, as a matter of fact. And so I look over at my wife, and I'm like, I need to go to San Diego on Saturday to meet Dave Meltzer at 8:30 a.m. Now, I'd never met him in person before. And and I'm like, and by the way, that is our anniversary. So not only is this really short notice that I'm going to meet some guy I've never met before in San Diego, California, but it's on our anniversary, September 4th. And my wife, being the amazing human that she is, my wife was like, of course, a guy like Dave Meltzer says to meet him, you got to meet him. You can't miss this opportunity, right? And so I flew over, got there Friday night before, and I sent Dave a text. I said, okay, I'm in San Diego. Where do you want to meet tomorrow at 8:30 a.m.? So he sends back an address. That's all it is, just an address. Still no details. Don't know why I'm there. Don't know what's going on, right? He sends me back an address. So I'm like, okay, cool. So the next morning, I look it up, MapQuest it, all that good stuff. Find out how far it is from where I am, and I want to make sure to be there early because I want to make sure to make a great impression, so on and so forth. And so I go, and I'm thinking we're going to like a restaurant, an office building, or something like that. But it turns out that we're over on Mission Beach, and there's a bunch of houses on Mission Beach, and there's a parking lot behind the houses, and so it has me pull into this parking lot behind the houses, and I pull into the parking lot, and I'm 30 minutes early, and so I'm like 30 minutes early, but I'm a little bit freaked out, to be honest with you, because I don't know this dude, I don't know this guy, I don't know what's going on, I don't know why he has me there, and so to be honest, I sent my wife like a little location thing. I'm like, hey, honey, I don't know what these rich white people are doing right now, but this is not an office. This is not a business meeting. I'm at somebody's house, and if I don't make it out of here, I want you to know where I am, right? So I sent her a picture of where I was and a location type thing, and here I was still 30 minutes early. And so now that it was a house, not an office, not a business, I didn't want to go knocking on the door 30 minutes early to somebody's house, especially I didn't really know what was going on. And so I decided to walk around to the side of the house and out to the beach where the ocean was. This house is right on the beach. So I decided to walk around. And when I walked around to the other side, I was brought back in time. You see, there was a season of my life where I was homeless, and in that season of my life, I used to walk up and down the beach, Mission Beach, and all the way up to La Jolla, and I would walk up and down that beach looking for change, for nickels and dimes and quarters. And there was one specific house that every time I would walk by that one specific house, I would always ask myself, I wonder who lives there. Like, what does that guy do? What is that guy doing or girl? What is that guy or girl doing that I'm not? That they're living in that house and I'm out here homeless in the street. There was one specific house that I used to always ask that question. I just loved the way the double tiered layout and the way that the back patio came out, and then it had the awning up above it. It was blue and white, and I just would always ask, what is it about this? Like, what are they doing? And so here I am. I walk around the side of these houses and I start to realize that this is exactly where I used to walk up and down looking for change. And as I go around to the front of the address that I am now there to have a meeting with Dave Meltzer, I realize that it's the house. I am getting ready to have a meeting with the owner of the house that 15 years ago, when I was homeless, 15 years prior, actually, I guess it was 13 years prior, it'd be 15 now, 13 years prior, I was homeless, wondering who lives in that house. And here I am 13 years later, having a meeting in it. Full circle, right? God's plan. You see, I share that story with you because this week we're in a series called Grow Your Business for God's Sake. And in that series, there are 7 areas. Let me rephrase that. In that series, the series Grow Your Business for God's Sake is inspired by a book that I'm writing called Grow Your Business for God's Sake that you're helping me write. And in that book, we talk about 7 areas that you really need to focus on if you want to grow your business or in your business. And those 7 areas are the environment, the marketing, the training, something we call corporate family values, which is 12 specific strategies, self-development, loving God, and loving people. And this week here on this show, we've gone over the environment, the marketing, the training, the corporate family values, and the self-development. We covered those earlier in the week. Today, I just want to talk about God and people. Loving God and loving people. Before I do, though, you know what we got to do on this show. And I know we're running a little long, but I'm all up in my feels.
Wake up,
All right, for those of you that know and those of you that don't know,
stay woke,
stay woke, stay woke, stay woke.
hashtag rise and grind, hashtag rise and grind.
That should be better. There we go. You're like, bam! I blast you. Right? It's all quiet. Ramon says, I bring you in and I blow you out. That's right. Hey, we got to do some dancing on this show. Won't let me hear. I want to hear. I want to hear the music. I want to hear the music. Let me see. Audio playback. Oops. Oh man, well let me hear it. That's all right. You guys can hear it. That's what's important. All right. For those of you who know, those of you who don't know, this is part of the show. We're going to get that body in motion. All right. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. So let's get moving. I don't care where you are in the world. It's time to get up. It's time to get moving. If you're on a run, run harder. If you're lifting weights, lift heavier. If you're in a place where you can dance, dance. Dance like nobody's watching. All right. Dance like nobody's watching. All right. Good morning, Tiffany Hall. Well, let's just say fast forward a couple years later, Tiffany, and I'm here with Dave getting ready to do his show on Apple TV and all those other places. So the meeting went amazing. Tarika Simmons, good morning. I'm glad you're here. Tara Murney in the building. Gail B. Craft. We've got Bella Biz Media in the building. Randy Wagner, Nicole Settle, Scott Marziani, Soul Salcedo is up in here. Stephanie Toadvine. It looked like you and my wife and Marcy had an amazing time at the Carrie Underwood concert last night. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that, and I'm glad you're still here at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time after hanging out with the ladies last night. Kimberly Hatfield, thanks for being here. Beth O'Keezy is in the building. We've got Julio Soto. What's up, Julio? Don Sankey is up in here as well. Gloria Bond in the building. Janelle Griego. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? I see Ramon Ray is up in here. I also see my guy Jeff Moffitt, who is helping us out. Thank you so much, Jeff, for making sure we've got great sound. Nicole Settles is in the building. Mary Kim Farkas is up in here as well. Angela from Personalized Keepsakes is in the building. Michelle McLean, what up? Trisha Rue, I am so glad you are here. Valerie Oakley and Ricardo Govindansamy. We've got Rodney Hatfield, Nathaniel Banks, Tiffany Hall, Mo Ali. Is that Mo? My boy Mo? What's up, Mo? Great to see you, Mo. Sean Woodward in the building. Vicky Everett and the Twang Sisters. Randy Wagner's up in here. Listen, folks. Thanks for joining me right here, live and in person. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your grace and understanding. We don't have a massive production today, but we do have an incredible message. We're going to continue with that message here in just a second. But first, the good news girls want to say what's up.
Thanks for the spooky bucket date.
You're welcome, since you were supposed to take me out on the date. You asked me first.
You're the one with Glenn's credit card, so.
Very true. Thanks, Glenn Lundy, for breakfast/lunch.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
I have a story for you today.
Okay.
So I was a NIC unit mom, I should say. And so I found the story, and it kind of touches my heart.
Okay.
So, found a story that this lady in Indiana has donated her services, chair, the whole 9 yards, to a hospital that helps NIC unit parents. Like moms can go in who have spent however long their babies have been in the NIC unit, go get a hair massage, whatever it's called. Their hair washed, blow dried, whatever. And dads can too. They can go to a hydro massage chair.
Oh, wow.
All this cool stuff.
For free?
For free. She's there every other Wednesday providing these services for parents there.
That's amazing. I love that. What did they give you when you were in the NIC unit?
I did get this really cute little penguin thing.
Yeah. Did you get a big bill though?
Maybe. Have a big bill in general for adopting, but yeah.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Very, very kind of her.
Yeah, I thought so too. She's very young. She's only 34,
Wow.
so pretty young to, do this. She's actually a previous NIC unit parent herself.
Oh, okay. So she knows how it is and wanted to give back.
Yeah, 4 years ago, her daughter was in the NIC unit, born premature. So she just seen how tough it was, how many hours were spent there, because you spend a lot of hours in there. And she just decided to give back. So I love it. Thought that was a very positive story that I wanted to share with you and everybody else.
That's awesome. I love it. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Have a good day, everybody.
See ya.
Listen, nobody, well, that's a lie. I was about to say nobody spends money on my credit card better than Jessica, but that would be a lie. But I guess technically it's not my credit card. My wife's got her own credit cards. It's all attached to the same account, though. I'm just saying. It's all attached to the same account. I see that we are froze over on Facebook at the moment. There it is. It's coming back. There we go. All right. Love the good news girls, though. They're always bringing us incredibly positive and encouraging messages. And Jessica is one of a kind. Her little son, JD, is sweet as can be. And she adopted and ultimately saved that young, that little boy, right? She saved that little boy. She sacrificed her life um, so that he can have something better. And I admire her so much for that, right? Jessica, you're an amazing human. And speaking of Jessica, recently my company, 800% Elite Auto and Glenn Lundy LLC, we actually have two companies, but both of our companies have grown ridiculously over the last 3 years, right? 4 years ago, I was working with and for one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my entire life. 3 years ago, I was like literally 3 years ago, right now, I was at an event, or I had an event. I was coming off of an event. That's the way to explain it. Um, Called Grow Your Business for God's Sake. And the event itself had not been like the event itself had been amazing, but financially it had not been what I thought it was going to be. And so we were coming up with new strategies of how we were going to financially make some moves. And a buddy of mine, Cameron Goss, gave me a call and gave me an idea. That idea became 800% Elite Auto, which is what my shirt says right here. And in 3 years, that company has gone from initially we signed 17 dealers to our program in the first 12 months. Fast forward in the last 2 weeks, we've signed an additional 17 dealers to our program. So to give you the rate of scale from 17 dealerships at being added, becoming members of our program in 12 months to 17 dealers becoming members of our program in the last 2 weeks, right? So what is that on scale? 2 weeks versus 12 months, right? Ridiculous. And of course, our brands continue to grow as well. And all of that, the Glenn Lundy LLC side, the 800% Club side, the brand side, all of it has grown because of our people. Every single bit of it is grown because we have collaborated with, gotten mentorship from, hired collectively the right people. Seriously. Like without a clear path. We have never, from the beginning of our entrepreneurship journey, we have not had a clear path at all. But even without a clear path, we've been able to attract top talent. Like, I mean, incredible talent. We've been able to attract top talent, amazing individuals, and those amazing individuals are what's blowing our company up. Like, even without high pay, like, I mean, most of our employees, when they start with our company, they don't make like nothing, like peanuts, like pennies on the dollar. But for some reason, they believe in us. They believe in what we're building. They believe in the impact that we're making. So they sacrifice every single one of my employees, every single one of my employees, except for one, every single one of my employees except for one took a pay cut to come be a part of our up and coming startup company, right? And it's crazy, right? They they're they're people that are already motivated and inspired. Like there are people that I don't have to manage, that I don't have to micromanage, that I don't have to do any of that. Like Jessica's amazing. She tells me what to do. We now have Casey Davis. Casey Davis was my assistant many years ago, and she told me what to do then. Since then, her skills are it's Casey Goins now. She's not married. Her skills, like she handles all our paid stuff. She's incredible, man. Like absolutely brilliant. Took a pay cut to come join us, right? Evan Walters. The dude is unbelievable. 29 years old, number one finance person in the United States of America. If anybody wants to argue with me about that, shoot me your numbers. I'll show you his and we'll see. He contracted 8,000 deals in 5 years at $3,100 a copy, which for those of you outside of automotive or in automotive, you know what that means. Outside of automotive, you probably don't. But just incredibly talented individual, right? I don't have to tell Casey or Evan what to do. Casey tells me what to do. Evan tells me what he's doing and what to do, right? Then we've got Alex that you guys see on the Good News Girls. She actually runs her own independent social media company. She started with us as a W-2 employee, and then she came to me and was like, hey, I'm going to go build my own thing with this. Like, you're my number one client, but I'm also going to bring in some other clients so I can serve and make an impact in other people, right? And so we made that work. She's absolutely tremendous. Josh Judy, you guys don't even know who he is, but he's behind the scenes cutting reels like crazy, making all this video content that you're seeing on TikTok and on Instagram and all these spaces, right? Brandon spends 50 hours a week just cutting, editing, creating. The guy's been with me for 11 years. 11 years. He left his job, his comfy, cozy, comfortable job to follow me. He was I'm employee number one, Leslie's employee number two, Brandon's employee number three. Right? Like the company has been built on Brandon, Jessica, Evan, a guy named Rob Gonzalez out of Texas. Rob Gonzalez and his amazing wife, Krista. Rob built our entire platform. If it wasn't for Rob, we wouldn't have the tools that we have now, the technology that we have now to be able to continue to add dealers at the rate that we've been adding to the program, right? Like he's amazing. I never told him what to do. He tells me what to do. We've also just added a couple more people to the team. One, two, three, as a matter of fact. Three more people came onto the team just in the last few days. I'll be quiet on those names for now. But here's my point, man. People. See, I love people. And because I love people and people know, they feel it. They feel seen, heard, and significant. There are people like we are able to build and scale and grow when I hear a lot of other people out there saying, well, I can't find any good people. You see, the way that we're able to attract good people is because my entire company is built around people. It's built around this idea of loving people. You see, on this show, every single day, I'll tell you, I'm like, yo, I love you. I do. If nobody's told you that yet today, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. And sometimes people give me grief for that. They're like, how can you love people you don't know? I'm like, bro, I just love people. I don't give a dime. I've been homeless. I've been in and out of jail 17 times. I've lied. I've cheated. I've stole. I've slept with people I shouldn't have slept with. I've been in places I shouldn't have been. I've like name a sin. Name a sin. And yet God still plucked me out of the ocean and chose to love me. God still put me on stages and chose to love me. God still sent me all around the United States of America so that I can meet up with the people that live in those houses, so that I can go to those studios and so I can go to those hockey games. He still loved me. If he still loved me, how could I not love people? I love people. And through loving people, I love God. See, you can't help but love God when you love people. And you can't help but love people when you love God. You following that? Maybe not. Maybe the message isn't for you today. Maybe without my full production, the delivery's not as tight today. But here's the reality. The whole concept of growing your business for God's sake. There's two plays on those words, right? It's like, "God, for God's sake, grow your business." Like, dude, Stop doing same. Stop repeating this year what you did last year. Stop staying in the same stinking place year after year after year after year after year. You were not called for that. You were called to grow. You were called to evolve. You were called to become the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. So it's grow your business. Like, for God's sake, I want to shake you. Don't you realize the magnificence of what and who you are? And then the other side of that is growing your business for God's sake, God's glory. And when we grow our business for God's sake, it's simply through our people. Because that's God, that's all that God ever cared about. It's all that God does care about is his children. You and I, children of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything, right? In order for you and I to achieve that with which we envision in our minds, everything, every aspect of that will be achieved through people. That promotion that you're looking for in your life, that company that you want to build, that financial position that you want to be in, the health position that you want to be in, the faithful position that you want to be in, all of it will come through people. And all of those people are children of God. You love God, you love people. You love people, you love God. This week, I've given you a bit of a roadmap of how you can grow in your business or grow in a business. Either way, whether you're working for somebody or you're holding on to employees like we're blessed to have, right? Either way, this roadmap will help you grow and scale. My hope is that you grow 800% at least, right? And you can do that through your environment. And when you're building that environment, let's look at it through the eyes of people, people that you love. How are they going to receive that environment? How will they thrive in that environment? When you're looking at your marketing, I want you to look at it through the eyes of people. How will they receive it? How will it make them feel? How can you love on people through your branding and through your marketing? When you're looking at the training aspect, I want you to look at it through the eyes of people. How can we make this an enjoyable experience? How do we make sure that we're developing people in the right way? How can we add value to their lives, not just drain and suck their time? When it comes to things like corporate family values and the 12 strategies we broke down earlier in the week, I want you to look at those strategies, look at each one through the eyes of people, the brothers and sisters that we are blessed to be able to lock arms with and be able to go out and do incredible things that we could never do on our own. When it comes to self-development, I want you to take a look at it all through the eyes of people, really caring for those that you are entrusted with. I buy books for all the members of my 800% club so that they can grow as individuals. We do this show right here. So if you're connected with me, I'm going to push you to wake up early. I'm going to drive you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. This is not about me. This is not my stage. This is not my production. This is something that has been built by us in community. It's all about people. And when it comes to loving God, I want you to look at that. Look at loving God. Don't look at it from a religious standpoint. I want you to look at it from the standpoint of the people. See, when we love God, we love people. When we love people, we love God. Put those 7 steps together. You too can build. You can build a company that will blow the minds of not only yourself, but everyone around you. You can build an attractive environment where top talent from all around the world will flock to be a part of your organization so that you can not only scale and grow, but you can help them scale and grow into the best individuals that they can be. Meanwhile, reaping the harvest and the reward as you build your company, all for the glory of God. That's my series this week. We're going to be writing this book, Grow Your Business for God's Sake. There's a lot more. I gave you what I could give you. I love your feedback. Shoot me messages. Let me know if you're going to buy a copy of the Grow Your Business for God's Sake book when it comes out. Let me know. I'd love to continue our journey in that way. All right, we'll continue our journey in that way. Thanks for letting me go over on time today. We're going to head over to Clubhouse and discuss this a little bit further. We've got about 18 minutes that I'll be over on Clubhouse live, and then after that, if you're catching this on replay, you can always come back to the Breakfast Champions room until 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time for some more motivation. If you're watching this show even after that, then just come back Monday at 5:30 a.m. We're going to do it all over again. Monday, I believe I'll be coming from Lexington, and then we'll be headed to Atlanta after that. So you're welcome to come join me on Monday. But listen, listen, listen. God is good and God is real. You don't take a homeless dude who inspires, who is a homeless guy who desires to get a seat at the table in a very specific house out of millions of homes, a very specific house. You don't give him that desire. And then 15, technically 13 years later, connect him. Well, dude, and I moved all the way across the country to Kentucky. I met Dave through this show. That doesn't happen. Where you can take that guy and put him in that house, in that living room with that person 13 years later, doesn't happen without God. And the growth that you desire, the dreams and visions that you have for yourself and for those around you, they don't happen without God either. Get to know God. Get to know God. And the closer you get to Him, the better you'll understand you. Fair enough? Fair enough. Listen, I love you guys so very much. I do. I'm going to head over to Clubhouse, listen to some music. Can't even really listen to music. Jeff Moffitt, go play some music over on Clubhouse. I'll see you guys next week, Monday morning, 5:30 a.m.